All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sean with Blue Ridge Silverhound. We're just kicking them out. Hopefully you guys are doing really well. Didn't get to see a whole heck of a lot. Like 5 days last week because I was at the Pittsburgh ANA World's Fair Money Show. A lot of great things ended up, transpiring, taking place at the event. It's probably, I'll be honest, it's the biggest show that I've ever been to. And, I've been to a lot of really big shows, both regional and, I guess, nationally known. I did Long Beach a number of years ago, and that's always a big event. But when the American Numismatic Association puts on an event, it is like unlike anything else. And all of the heavy hitters obviously are going to be there from all the big auction houses. Heritage Auctions was there. I got to speak, with a few folks from that booth. Great collections. Ian Russell and his team was there to show off an incredible collection. I believe it's called the Duck Ore Collection. Of some of the finest St. Gaudens coins that you will ever lay eyes on. But they were also taking consignments right there at their booth as well. You had all of the grading services, PCGS, NGC were in attendance, CAC grading, which, by the way, they were giving away the brand new sample slabs. So each person ended up getting one, and then you have to type in your name into their database. So that way you can go back and grab a second one because I tell you what, guys, people were they were scalping these things on eBay. They would grab one, take a picture of it, throw it up on eBay, and right out of the gate they were selling for like $150 to $200. So it was like free, easy money. These things will go down after a little while, and then they'll probably end up going back up, after a number of years. Considering it's the first gen model of this slab. So CAC rating was there as well. A lot of the big dealers were in attendance, got to meet a lot of great dealers as well. And it was really a great event. Now, the big reason why I ended up going to the Pittsburgh ANA was the NGC Whatnot Collaborative Grade Off Challenge, all right, which pits two famous influencers against two other famous influencers. So there was four of us. It was Coin Hub and Couch Collectibles versus myself and Bargain Hunters Thrift, also known as Renee from Storage Wars. Really great personality. He is funny as all get out, even especially in person. He's a great guy too. But we ended up coming out the winner from the event. Let me show you a little bit of what I did receive as a result. This was the first place prize, which is a 1 of 2 exclusive grade off winner, NGC Whatnot World's Fair Money 23. It's the 2023 10th ounce Britannia, and it's got King Charles on the reverse there, without the crown, of course. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And no big surprise. Renee tried buying this thing right off of me. I haven't even had it in my hot hands 2 minutes. I said, thanks, but no thanks. So that was a really cool gift, a really nice prize. I just ended up with a bunch of stuff. I ended up, we went 2 days. My wife went with me, but she didn't do all 2 days with me. But it was a lot of fun, and got to meet, again, a lot of people, fans, viewers, dealers, people much higher up. The U.S. Mint was even there. Miss Vedris Gibson, the Mint director, was there signing autographs. I ended up getting a few autographs myself on some Mint product. The American Liberty silver and gold medals came out at the same time too. And then they had like an exclusive line access for that particular Mint product. So there was a lot of cool things happening. The buzz was, it's as strong and loud as you would think for a coin show that, for the longest time, was an old man sport. You've heard me say that before. And I'm happy to say, and it's the craziest thing to see this live with your own two eyes, because it's generally something that you hear kind of like through stories between a couple other people that went to the event and you didn't, myself, is that there is a relatively nice sized demographic of, I would say, some of them as young as like 14, 15 years old, and then going into the mid 20s. Like, there is a prominent display of youth in the room. And it had nothing to do with the ANA, YNs, or anything like that. They were there for a completely different reason. All right. And that is to boost and bolster their social media by buying high-end coins. Now, a lot of these, newfound influencers that probably, made a pretty significant impact in the sneaker world and video games and sports cards and things like that, now they have hit the numismatic scene. I've caught glimpses of some of these younger folks, buying a high-end coin, and then they would go off in a corner and do a TikTok live, because on the bourse floor, that's what they call the general floor of the coin show, you can't do any sort of photography or videoing. As long as if you're part of a booth, you could do a video within the confines of your booth as a dealer or what have you. So that was exciting to see, and these kids have a boatload of money to spend. All right, so you would always hear about transactions here and there, with some of these dealers transpiring. All right, and they had no problem shelling out $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 for some of these coins. All right, the payment methods these days, it's a whole lot different. There were a few people that had cash, but a lot of people did digital electronic payment systems. Whether it's through Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, or something to that effect. It was happening. The transactions were flying all around the place. And, as great as this explosion of youth has been onto the hobby, and especially like big events that is put together by one of the oldest educational institutions in the ANA, you would think that would be kind of like the ultimate goal, is to pass on the education to the youth. All right. So, that's cool. Up until you talk to the dealers and come to find out that there's this kind of like impatiency, that this thing that a lot of these younger people are doing, called check slamming. All right, and that's ultimately, this is kind of like the punchline. This is what you guys are waiting for. Check slamming is happening in a huge way. I've talked to a number of dealers, big dealers, small dealers, and what is happening is that these folks, these younger audiences, they're out buying these coins. They're doing their content creation, and then what they're doing is they're going to other dealers, and then they're selling the same coin that they had just bought an hour ago. All right. And, they'll make a deal with whatever XYZ dealer, is there that will take the deal for the coin. And then they would be, oftentimes with these events, coin dealers will normally pay in the form of a business or personal check. All right. So the business checks, obviously, is going to be your quicker way to money. You could certainly cash it as easily as you receive it. Especially if they use a big bank like Chase or Bank of America or whatever, it's going to be really easy to do. But what these young guys are doing is that they are the moment that they get that check in their hand, they are depositing it. Okay, they are they're doing, and a lot of banks are doing this, where you have the ability to take a picture of the check and then deposit it then and there. You could be right at the dealer's booth and you could be depositing the check at your own leisure. And business checks oftentimes will get paid out immediately, and it comes out of their account. All right. And this is a part of the coin show etiquette that most people don't get to see. Although it is kind of like a newer thing these days because we have, again, this burst of youth coming out of the scene with all this money. They're impatient. They want their money now. They want their coin now, and it's all about the speed of getting the content created and uploaded to their preferred social media site. So that is what's called check slamming, is that the moment that they get the check, they deposit it, the money is out of that dealer's bank account. And it's a part of etiquette that you generally do not deposit the money until Monday. All right. And it's been like that for years. Okay. As far as I could go back. And generally this is going to be for like large dollar value type transactions, right? Stuff that I would say is a few $1,000s and up. And the big reason why that this is such a huge issue is that the dealers need the cash, the capital in their bank accounts to fulfill other deals, whether that's through dealer-to-dealer transactions, whether they're, calling on the fly to get PMs and things like that. They need the money, and not every dealer is highly leveraged where they have hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars in their bank account. There are some dealers that have maybe $20,000, $30,000. So when a dealer buys a coin, they provide a check to the customer. Then they don't have they have the coin, but for the longest time, the theory is, well, if you cash a check over the weekend, it's not going to clear until Monday. But the way that the speed of which checks are being deposited today, with the use of apps and things like that right on your phone, it's become problematic. Okay. And this is probably what's going to happen, if this becomes too degenerate of a thing, is that they're just going to post date the checks. So that way they'll never be able to cash it until that Monday or Tuesday. So again, it's kind of like that common courtesy etiquette thing. It may not be a big deal to a lot of you, but on the dealer side, it is a big thing because there was probably a dozen or so dealers that were talking about it. And it was to them, it's a big issue. And I wanted to relay what exactly has been going on with the check slamming. So, which I'm sure a lot of you are probably saying, well, it's not that big of a deal, right? They're selling a coin. They deserve their money then and there, but again, it's a coin show etiquette thing. All right. That I've known about for a little while, probably in the last like 6-7 years, I've known about check slamming. But oftentimes, it's something that wasn't that big of a deal back in the day because not as many people were actually doing it. But today it is certainly a much bigger issue as the coins go up in value and the demand for precious metals rises and, all that stuff, and things are just more expensive. They need as much capital as they can to have the ability to buy inventory and stock and to do other transactions that may be, right there at their dealer booth. They wouldn't have the opportunity to do so. All right. So, so I wanted to, talk a little bit about that. I'm not a dealer, so I'm not as affected by it. But, considering that we have these kind of like quick, gut reaction crowds, that are much younger, that have kind of migrated from, some of these more hip, younger collectibles crowds, from sports cards and comic books and sneakers, it's just kind of like a whole new world for the coin world to be able to handle things like that. It might be that they're just going to have to adopt. They're going to have to accept that this is indeed happening, and they're just going to have to, figure out some alternative ways to make sure that, either the customer understands that they shouldn't cash a check until Monday, or maybe something else, keeping more money in the bank or leveraging and, doing all sorts of other things. So that's it. Overall, extremely successful show. Can't wait to do my next one. Not 100% sure if I'll be doing the Long Beach show. I might actually take a break. These shows actually really take it out of you. And considering, who I am and all that, and the amount of people I talk to, again to probably an easy 100 plus of my fans and viewers. And, we had Couch Collectibles there and, a bunch of other influencers. It was just crazy. There was just like fans coming in droves to meet with us. So that's it. That's what I want to talk about. Quick little note before I jump right off for this evening. I will be on live on the platform Whatnot. We're going to be doing a quick little benefits auction to help out a buddy of mine that lost everything in the fires of Maui. He's an independent artist. We actually own a piece of his art, and a really nice guy. What I wanted to do is grab some of my inventory and sell it, and whatever we make off of that will go to Nathan, who lost his home. All of his artwork is destroyed, things like that. He was selling his art pieces and his prints through a very small shop on Front Street, right by the water. It's actually a few doors down from where Cheeseburgers in Paradise, the kind of like the restaurant that's at the very end of the block there, or the pier was. So yeah, we're going to do that. Hopefully to see you guys there to help support Nathan through this difficult time that he's dealing with. And again, we had a really, really good turnout on our last Whatnot stream live from Pittsburgh. And then now we're back home to do another one for my friend Nathan. So that's it. Thank you guys again for all your views and support. I'm your host, Sean, with BlueRidgeSilverhound. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I will be back on Facebook and Instagram. So you're going to see a wide coverage of different uploads and various things. We have some exciting stuff planned ahead of the holidays. I can't wait to share it with you guys. So you guys have a great night, and keep on collecting. All right, have fun with this hobby, and it will treat you just the same. All right, so long, guys.